Hello and welcome everyone to my 28th episode of the Healthy Knitter podcast. I'm so excited to see you today and have a few fun things to share with you. And I'm going to talk to you about the power of finishing projects. So that's going to be kind of our topic for today. First, I'll get you caught up on what I've been doing. I have one finished project. This is another Jason's hat, free pattern online. If you have not gotten this hat, check it out. It is a nice long 4-inch rib knit to purl to bottom, and then a beautiful cable. And I love these because they just stretch so they can fit just about any size head really nicely. But this is for my girlfriend's son who requested a hand knit hat. So I'm thrilled to give it to my friend Dana's son, Noah. So that is done and off the needles. And I think I'm done with hats for a while. And then I am working away on my self-striping socks, and I've got to, they're called Mahali top-down socks. And I'm not sure if I'm going to quite make them that long, but we're on our way. So I've got two going here, and I've been doing my socks on the treadmill or the elliptical or the bike in the morning. So that's the only time I'm really working on socks, but I've been working out every single morning. So I've been making some headway with those. So that's exciting. And then I completely frogged the other set of socks I was working on. I was doing a toe up sock, and it was one of my local knit shops. I have two, is doing a sock club, and it was a toe up sock that everyone was doing. Did I keep the name of it? I think it was called Miyako Hikosaka is the name of the um, person who did the pattern, and now I can't remember the name of the pattern. But anyway, it's a beautiful Kelbourne wool perennial yarn in the color gold. And I was working on them toe up, and I went to Sock Club last week after I did my knit along Zoom, and I heard story after story of all the struggles people had with these toe up socks. And most people frogged them and did something else. The owner of the shop had a beautiful pair and loved hers, and I saw them and I loved them. But when I heard how much trouble people were having, and knowing that I'm going to be traveling while I'm doing this, I thought I'm gonna frog these. And I was not enjoying the experience of going toe up either. So I frogged them, started my cuff, and I'm gonna do vanilla socks with this. I do love this color. So um, I do want to learn new techniques, and I am getting out of my comfort zone this year, but I wasn't quite ready for that. Knowing I wouldn't be here to seek help probably was the icing on the cake for that decision. But also, I am making progress on my universal yarn hat and scarf set. And the hat is done. I love this yarn. Again, this is very similar to the Jason's hat. It was a cable, ribbing on the bottom. It looks much smaller. It's smaller yarn, smaller needles, but it does fit. I've tried it on. And then I did start the scarf, which I'm afraid will take me years because it just goes very slow. But I love this self-striping yarn. You just can't wait to get to that lime green color. It's just so gorgeous. So yeah, we'll be getting there. Lime green will be coming up soon, and then I'll get to the pretty pink with that. But that's been a fun project, and I love color work where you can start to see the different colors. It gets so exciting to keep going and going. And then I did something crazy and I cast it on, not what I thought I told you I was going to cast on, but I cast it on my Victory cardigan from the Woolly Thistle. And I think I shared with you that I thought this yarn that I ordered was gray, but it's actually a little bluer. And it looks gray here in the camera, but maybe it looks gray against my Felix sweater, but it's a little bluish gray, but it's still beautiful. And I casted my sweater on, and now this is a nice thick wool, and it's a nice big needle, and it just started working up very, very quickly. So I got going on the back and started building the back up with some short rows, started with the raglan. And then when I got to the join part, my needles were all twisted and it was driving me bonkers. And I looked for another pair of the same size needles to switch, and I did not have them. So I was fighting with the needles and it was driving me crazy. And then I realized I had twisted the yarn. So this is my steek. So, oh, that was my other big thing. Before I started, I realized this was going to entail steeking, and I've been wanting to try it. I've been afraid to try it. Like most people that talk about steeking, they're terrified to cut through their work that they spent, hours and hours and hours working on. But I definitely want to do some things that stretch me this year. So I decided to go ahead and cast this one on, and I'm so glad I did. I've made great, great progress, but this was my dilemma. You can see it was just in the first couple of rows where it was twisted. So I decided to twist it out. I kept it because I had quite a bit in the back. I didn't want to start all over again, so I kept it. I untwisted it here. My thought process is when I go to work the button band, I'll be building the button band here. When I cut down this knit stitch, I don't think I'm going to see it. I really don't think there's going to be a problem with it at all. So I was a little bit nervous to keep it in there, but I really think I'm going to be fine and I'm going to be able to hide that. So tell me if I made a bad mistake, but I really think I'm going to be all right with it. So I'm loving this. I broke off for the sleeves, and I added some stitches for the bust area. And now I'm going to be doing 3 inches before I start tapering down on the waist. But I'm loving it. I'm loving how fast it's working up. It's just gorgeous. I love this yarn. It is Rauma yarn. And I did my vanilla sweater in this yarn and I love it. So I definitely can do more with this. And this is a yarn I could probably wear this right on my skin, even though it's wool. It's very, very nice. Now this is not, I can feel this through my white shirt. This is the Felix pullover. I've showed this before. I love this sweater and I totally would make it again. I love the fit. I love the feel. I love the color of this, but it is a little itchy, even, I must be a little sensitive, even through the shirt. It kind of bothers me. I would not wear this from morning till night. I just put it on a couple hours ago. I've been working at my desk. I just had a Zoom call with a new potential client. And so I've kept it on. I'll keep it on probably for another hour or so. And then I'm going to have to lose it because it's just a bit itchy. But this is the Felix pullover by Savory Knitting. And if you haven't made this, I know a lot of people have made this. This is definitely one I would highly recommend making. I love it. I love it. And I would make it again and maybe more of a cotton so I can wear it in the spring. That's what I'm thinking with this one. All right. So what I wanted to chat with you guys today about is the emotional benefits of completing knitting projects and how this can build confidence and reduce stress. So little things like when my friend asked me I've made hats for her and her husband, and she actually wants to get on my podcast as a guest. God love her. Because her husband is incredibly knit worthy and she calls herself not knit worthy, and she's knit worthy. But for things like I've made her 2 hats now, and I'd probably make her socks if she wanted them, a sweater. I am going to need to be so skilled by the time I make her a sweater that it would fit her like a glove because she does not like anything big and roomy. She really likes things fitted. And I'd be way too nervous to make her something, and I know she wouldn't wear it. So I joke with her about that. So she calls herself non-knit worthy and she thinks it's funny and she wants to come on here one day and be a guest and tell you that whole story. But her son actually saw his dad's hat and said, "Would Cindy make me one?" And she's like, "I know how busy you are. You're trying to get ready to leave the country for your son's wedding. If you don't have time, don't worry about it." Well, I wanted to get it done before I left because I'm going to be gone for a month. So I really wanted to get that done. So I casted that on in the middle of these other projects and kind of made that my priority. And completing that, not only does it build confidence, but it just makes you feel good. When you can make something for someone else and complete that project, the feeling of, I can't wait to write up a little card. I'm going to give it to her probably tonight for him. I can't wait to do that. But completing a project and just checking a project off the list, it's like It's like it releases endorphins in your body like a great workout does, and it makes you feel good. And any project like that, whether it's for yourself, whether it's for a gift for someone else, really helps you find a level of joy and happiness, and it helps with building confidence in your work, of course. But again, reducing stress by doing the same rhythmic motions over and over and over again, such a calming thing. And I think coupling it with listening to a book on Audible or a podcast or watching a knitting YouTube. I do this constantly. I watch other people and try to get tips. So it just gives a really great sense of satisfaction. So I love to kind of track what I'm working on and then that feeling of checking it off. I'm one of those people that is guilty of putting things in my planner after I've done them so I can check them off. Give me an amen if you're like me in the comments. I do. Like, I remember when I was in the midst of young children, I've always had a paper planner, even though I'm online as well now in the digital age. I always have had a paper planner to this day. I do. And I remember I'd write laundry in and I'd check it off, and I'd write cleaning and I'd check it off just because it gives me that satisfaction. So I want to encourage you guys to do that, to really track your projects and check them off and feel good about completing them. I I'm kind of surprising myself that I like to have multiple projects going on at the same time. You may be a one project person at a time. It doesn't matter. Either way, you're going to have a feeling of accomplishment and really great satisfaction completing your projects. And I find when I complete a whip that's been on the needles for a while, especially, I feel that like whipping through this sweater, I'm feeling accomplished with it and it's satisfying and I'm loving it. But getting the socks that I ripped out that were completely made and I completely frogged them and completely did them all over again, that was so satisfying when that was finally done that I felt really, really great about it. And I think I'm actually wearing them right now. I am. So anyway, that's what I wanted to share with you, that the feeling of completing your projects can really give you satisfaction and help build confidence and reduce stress. And some tips maybe to help you do that is to break these large projects down into smaller, more achievable goals. Give yourself a time limit. Many of you have jobs. I'm lucky to work from home, but I have calls and different things. I'm meeting with people throughout the day and I'm doing trainings and things like that. So I have to kind of plan out my knitting time. I have my knitting time in the morning for sure. I have knitting time in the evening for sure. And then throughout the day, it's very sporadic, but I plan for it and I chunk my projects down. And with anything I'm working on, I try to have a goal for, do I want to do an inch? Do I want to get to the next pattern or the next color stripe or whatever? But set little smaller, more achievable goals and then celebrate those milestones during your knitting process. So I'd love to hear from you. What finished projects that you have completed that have given you great satisfaction and how completing them has made you feel. So please feel free to chat with me in the comments below. I do not have a knit along scheduled now until it'll be March. It'll probably be mid to late March till I do another knit along, but I want to thank all of you that have been hopping on with me. Our highest amount of people was 6. We had 4 last week, but it is just a thrill and an honor to sit and knit with you, get to know you better and share projects. I'm learning so much because some of the knitters have far more experience than I do and are way better teachers than I am. But it's just such a joy to share the love of knitting and fiber arts together and our reasons for doing it. And they're all just a little bit different, but I would love to hear from you, and I will be podcasting. I have one more that I will do before I start my travels, but I'm going to be coming to you. Might be a little bit wonky with my times while I'm traveling in Taiwan. I hope to hit a yarn store while I'm there, and I'm going to Arizona for an event at my corporate headquarters on my way out of the country. But also, if I can help you with your health, if you would like to ever have a free consultation and talk about your health needs, I'm always happy to do that. I'll give you my contact information in the show notes, so feel free to reach out. I do monthly 11-day reset challenges with our new clients and our old clients. Our returning clients keep coming back for them because we do it together and we have a really beautiful community that helps each other and we share great recipes and ideas and different things like that. So if I can be be of service to you in your health in any way, please let me know. Have a fabulous day and happy knitting. Bye-bye.